Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. Still fixing YouTube. Okay. Bonarici subscribed with Prime for 68 months. Yeah, I don't know the answer to your question, Bonarici. I just work here. Hello, Oily. A cashless. Use your credit card. So today's Sub Sunday. I analyze subs games. We have 12 games today. Start at 8 in a few minutes. We'll be on Chess TV. This will be my last stream for over a week. So I'll be at the National Open from Tuesday to Sunday. My next stream will be next Tuesday in 9 days. But you can watch Karen stream poker. So do that. Did you see Mission Impossible? Aren't there like 9 of those? I've seen one of them, maybe the first one. All the movies are exactly the same. So once you see one movie, I don't think you need to see any more. Same film. Yeah, I had another shirt on, and then I spilled soup all over it because that's what I do when I eat soup. So then I put on another shirt. Go Superman. I am the best. What kind of soup? I order it from Amazon. It's some kind of noodle soup. Cheap. The Final Countdown. I don't think I've heard of that. Is that a song by some, like Europe or something? Final Countdown is the last Mission Impossible. How can something have two names? How do you like that new song from Kanye West? I wasn't aware of Kanye West's catalog. I don't know any of his songs. Didn't Kanye West change his name? He might have changed it back. Kesha did that. Prince did that too. No, I prefer PDQ Bach. Okay, we're on Chess TV. Hi, Chess TV. I'm Ben. Uh, we have 12 games submitted, and then I analyze them. You want your game analyzed, then become a Twitch subscriber, and then submit on Discord by 6:30, the day of the stream. On the day of the stream, you have to connect your Twitch and Discord accounts. It's virtually impossible. Actually, Jerry Seinfeld did hug Kesha because she changed her name to Kasha. Then it was okay. Hi, New Zealand. I'd like to go to New Zealand, but it's too expensive and there's no reason to go. It just sounds cool. Isn't New Zealand like a suburb of Australia? Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Yeah, Iowa 7, your game submitted was the worst as far as who played it and PGN format. I think it still worked, but terrible. It's West Berkeley. The Netherlands. I was in the Netherlands before you were born. I played in the Dutch interclubs. Thoughts on Magnus slamming the table after losing to Gukesh? He didn't slam it hard enough. How about Wei Yi leading the standings after 6 rounds? Like that's in your imagination. Wei Yi's like in last. How many times have you ever been to Russia? I was there in 84 and I was there in 90. So, oh, and I was there in 2011. So 3 times. Do you think White would have resigned early in the Gukesh Magnus game if it was played by top players 50 years ago? No. Your spelling of Kamer is shallow and pedantic. I don't know which Norderbeck you're referring to. There's 2 good Norderbecks in Uzbekistan. Who is the best player right now under 25? I guess the world champion. Something. Iragassi's better. So, if Gukesh and Iragassi played a match, I'm not sure either one would be the favorite. We're playing with the full number of pieces today. Yes. Yeah, Arjun is pretty good against chumps. Who's the third best player? I don't know, Firouzja, I guess. You know, Hans is only 21. Of the players we've been talking about, Hans is the oldest. I've known Hans for about 10 years. No, the reason Hans isn't playing before September is because at the end of August, him and Kramnik are expecting. Everybody I know is having a baby. Carlson, the Sprags, uh, Dan Weinman and his wife Sarah. Sarah's going to have a baby next month. Or this month, it's June. Okay, unfortunately, uh, it's Sunday, so I'm supposed to look at chess games you guys submitted. How did my life turn out like this? Okay, the first game was submitted by Sit Bear, which is pretty normal. Uh, he writes, everyone was confused this game, especially at the end when time got low and the moves may or may not have been accurately notated. Stockfish was not impressed by my bishop b5 check preventing knight c6. So it's game 60, delay 10, and then the score trails off at the end, and Sitbear says, I eventually lost all my pieces. So they had so little time, I guess he wasn't keeping notation or couldn't read it. Okay, so it's game 60, delay 10. Game was played last year. Sitbear's white. He's 1632. His opponent, NN, is 1777. You know, throughout chess history, NN gets the smackdown. On my stream, on Sub Sunday, NN scores about 50%. Man, you guys are so bad you lose to NN. Ugh. Yeah, usually NN gets crushed if you look at games throughout history. But to be fair, you know, NN pretty old now, playing chess for hundreds of years. I didn't know Christian Carilla was married. I learned two things today. They're going to bring up his kid very religious, Christian values. Okay, so Sitbear's white. He always plays the same first three moves. D4, knight f3, e3. Making sure he doesn't have any advantage. Preventing knight c6. I mean, black's not going to play knight c6 ever. Black's going to play c6 and probably knight bd7. Yeah, so that move just loses a tempo, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the result of the game. Yeah, if you play bishop b5 check and your opponent plays c6 and you play bishop e2, then bishop b5 check was wrong. ILS7 gifted 5 subs. God damn. Yeah, c5 doesn't look good. It weakens the d5 pawn. Yeah, bishop takes, gives black a bad pawn structure. So these games are basically what the definition of wood pusher is. A wood pusher is somebody who doesn't see anything or understand anything, but makes legal moves. So like h5, that's not a wood pusher because that's too terrible. Okay, a wood pusher is when black can take or take, and black flips a coin and then takes one way. So like c5 is not a good move. Bishop b5 is not a good move. Taking on c5 is not a good move. Bishop takes isn't a good move. But they don't lose the game. They just show that the players are simpletons. That they just make legal moves. They don't blunder too often. But then, somebody wins because the other person can't take it anymore. And most people who watch the stream are wood pushers. You guys got nothing. Terrible. Then, what I like about the coverage of Norway chess, I was watching the official coverage, but I couldn't watch it today because Anand wasn't doing it. Anand was playing a match with Faustino Oro, and Anand won 2-0. Not sure what the time control was. So it was not watchable without Anand. So then I watched David Howell, Tanya Sachdev, and Jovanka Huska. And a lot of times in the commentaries, they say simple things like knight takes d5 loses a piece because black has 2 guys defending and white has 1 guy attacking. And then Anand rolls his eyes because he's like, why am I here? And then Anand and Christian, when Christian's using the engine, discuss variations. And then when they do that, that's good for me, but it's not good for you. You don't know what the hell they're talking about. So, like, if you're over 2,000, then it's good to have Anand and Christian and engines. But if you're like you guys, you want to have Yasser, saying rook f1 to d1 puts pressure on the d5 pawn. White has 3 attackers and black has 2 defenders. That's the kind of stuff that'll get you guys better at chess. And what's funny is the engine says rook d1 is the best move. I didn't even know whose turn it was. I was just giving an example. Okay, white somehow played rook d1, which is weird that white played a good move. Black played bishop e6. Again, white played a wood pusher move. So the engine says knight d4 is the best move. Pretty obvious. Queen a4 is the second best move. And the Sitbear plays queen c2, which is okay, but you don't want your queen on the c file because it's going to be opposed by a rook. Black played knight c6, which is fine. White played a3, which is fine. Now black played another wood pusher move, queen c7. It's just clicking buttons. Yeah, that move doesn't make any sense because it undefends d5. It allows knight b5 with tempo. It doesn't stop white from playing b4 and bishop b2. The correct move was a5 so that white can't play b4 and kick the bishop away. Okay, white played b4, very suspicious. Probably Sitbear was using an engine. Bishop e7, bishop b2. Rook c8 doesn't make any sense because white can play bishop a6. Of course, white's not going to play bishop a6 because that's the best move. What's funny is, after bishop a6, the engine gives the rook away. Let's see what happens if I make a normal move. Knight b5, queen d7. It's just this easy. So knight b8 looks forced. And knight e5, god damn. It just says black resigns. Okay. So Sitbear put his computer down. Played rook a c1. Random legal move. Rook f d8. Allowing bishop a6 winning again. Queen d2 doesn't make any sense. Ugh, knight e4. Horrible. Okay. Then, of course, he must have taken because he's Sitbear. Yes. Terrible move. Now, black doesn't have an isolated pawn anymore. That's a terrible move because of bishop f6. Now black is close to winning. Yeah, queen takes c3 is the best move. Queen d7 is okay. Oh, never play f3. f3 is terrible because black can play bishop g5 now. Oh. Oh. Now it plays bishop g5 after it was good before. Bishop e4, double question mark. So in this position, the engine says rook e8 wins. Rook e8 is too obvious. So he played bishop b5. Queen g4, double question mark, losing to rook e8. Bishop d3 was still playable. Queen e3, double question mark. Rook e8, question mark. Now white can play bishop c1. Oh, h4. Oh, my God. Oh, that's such an ugly move. Yeah, bishop c1, skewering pieces. White's position's playable. Now bishop e2 just wins on the spot. Oh, terrible. Yeah, this is the definition of wood pushers. They're just making legal moves and then game ends on its own accord. Bishop c1, double question mark. Queen c3 resigns. This is the only moves that he had, and he said eventually he lost all his pieces. The engine says after queen takes after queen c3 that black is winning. So here's the engine line. Bishop takes, bishop takes, bishop takes, f5. The queen has to stay on the bishop so that queen check doesn't win the bishop. And it has to stay on the G line so this bishop isn't hanging, but it can't do both. So the engine says give up the bishop on d1. If king g1, then rook e1 check wins all of white's pieces. So queen h3, and black's winning, +5. Yeah, this game, I mean, I don't know where Bonarici is. He's probably watching the stream. But you should investigate the cap score of this game. It's not going to be good. What's funny is, in this position, after bishop c1, Sitbear realized that it was a bad move, and he banged the table and knocked the pieces over. The Sitbear has every color except for brilliant. 67%, 71%. Yeah, I believe it. Except you put ampersand instead of percent. Yes, I can analyze a game of yours next week. Except there is no Sub Sunday next week. So in 2 weeks. That was game 60, delay 10. It's games like that that make me reevaluate my life choices. What did I do in the world? This is what I do for a living. I look at games where every move is double question mark. Oh. I could be playing in Tata Steel, Vaikonze, losing to Magnus and Caruana. Not sure why that's better, but it sounds better. The only joy I get out of the stream is banning people. What do I think about Carlsen's loss to Gukesh? Well, I don't know how to answer that question. The game's been analyzed by everybody ever. Magnus was winning the whole game. Then time trouble, Magnus blundered. Then Magnus banged the table. Then he resigned. Truth hurts. As I've said on stream many times, even if you're the best player in the world, you lose every game. Basically, everybody loses every game. Nothing you can do. It's only 10 subs until 400? Wow. It's a reference from War Games, 1983. With Dabney Coleman. I guess Matthew Broderick was in it also. Possibly Ali Sheedy, but I could be mistaken about that. The movie was 32 years ago, or 42 years ago. God damn. Are you still analyzing more subs games? Yeah, I've analyzed one game. There's 11 to go. Is John Spencer the the British actor who always plays an American. So typically, I like Daniel Negreanu's vlogs. He does vlogs for the World Series of Poker. So today, I tried watching episode 1, but I couldn't take it. After 15 minutes, I just stopped. There was no poker content. It was like, I got up, I got some coffee, and then my dogs, the sun was out, Anyway, he played chess on his Chess Up board, which was being played on chess.com. And the first 10 moves, like Daniel played normal. Then he skipped ahead in the game, in the video, they edited it, and he's completely winning. And he's talking about the game. Then he hangs everything. And then the funniest part was his opponent was at a rook on e6 and was attacking Daniel's queen on e4. And Daniel played d5, which forces the rook to take the queen. Then the guy played rook e5. And I was like, this game should be submitted for some Sunday. Ugh. So I thought Daniel was reasonable the first 10 moves. And then unfortunately, he showed the end of the game. Ugh. So if you look at Daniel Negreanu's first vlog from the World Series of Poker, after about 10 or 15 minutes, he's playing a chess game in his house on his Chess Up board. That you can see what I see. How do I send you my game? Well, you do that in 2 weeks. You type !analysis, and it tells you what to do. You have to send it on Discord. Negreanu likes chess a lot. BDub261 subscribed. I should like Negreanu because he plays poker, chess, and he's a vegan. But his political views are completely insane. So oh, 5 minutes ago, somebody said, what do you think about Gukesh beating Magnus today in Norway chess? And then somebody else just asked it. And in 5 minutes, somebody else will ask. Oh. That's right, you're all banned. People log onto the stream after I've been streaming for an hour, and they talk about stuff that has been on the internet for hours or days that we've already talked about. Oh, if you have a discussion topic, show up when the stream starts, and you'll be the first person to ask. And then I won't complain about you when the next 10 people ask the same question over the 2-hour stream. Yeah, I'm still not sure of any details of Saudi Arabia. Big Daddy gave 1 bit. Hooray! Yeah, Tom Dwan seems like he needs a lot of medication. By Miraculous Chess, you're the miraculousest. Okay, 1 game down, 11 to go. We might get to 4 or 5 games today. The next game is from Toast. He doesn't write anything. Just the game score. Toast is white. Trying to look at the time control. I don't see a time control. I don't know what the time control was. Toast is white. He's 1144. Oh, here it is. Time control 1/259/200. What? So it's either a move a day, a move every 3 days, or a move a week. I don't know what 259,200 seconds is. Okay, it's a day. All right. And his opponent's 1247. So Toast is paired up. Okay, go Toast. Transpose it to a French. Boch, H6. What is this guy, 1200? Oh. Yeah, here white should play Queen G4. Very strong. Engine doesn't like this move because of taking on E4. Wait, now the engine plays C4. Talk about a move I wouldn't consider. I also wouldn't consider that. Or that. I would consider that. Oh, B5, terrible. Bam! White wins a pawn. Yeah, black should play bishop c6 because that's a nice diagonal. Yeah, and here black has to play bishop d5. Stop white from playing d5. Oh, white should have played d5. Crushing. Oh. Oh, e6. Spicy. Man, the truth hurts. Rook d6 is the engine move. If king f6, white has mate in 3 with queen g6, rook e1 check, and queen g3 mate. So rook d6 is the engine move. So you know you're in trouble. Man, the truth hurts. Now bishop d4 is forced checkmate. And he played it too. Very nice. Man, white was 100 points lower rated than his opponent, but he a lot better than his opponent. Yeah, a toast to toast. Man, Black's position was toast. Anybody in the chat going to Vegas for the National Open and or World Series of Poker? What's your estimation of ratings inflation today? 1%, 2%? Oh, going for the natty. A perfect game from toast. That's correct. Yeah, there's a lot of accounts on Twitter for years that say Biden's been dead for years and the Biden that you see on TV is a clone or a guy wearing a mask or both. Also, you can purchase a book that explains that Paul McCartney was killed in a car crash in like the early 70s, late 60s, and some actor has replaced him the rest of his career. There's a whole book about it, and a guy that I know believes it. So that's funny. Kevin Kline. That sounds like the movie Dave. What's your blood pressure? I went to the doctor a couple days ago, and it was like 96 over 80. Yeah, the doctor said they're going to come to my house during one of my sub Sundays. They won't tell me which one because they suspect after looking at analyzing some of the games, my blood pressure will go way up. So they want to check. Good evening. My stepson Holden graduated from MIT a couple days ago. And then the graduation was on the news because the valedictorian spoke against Israel, basically her whole speech. That was like the pre-graduation. Then when people walked across the stage the next day, they didn't let her walk as punishment. Anyway, Holden got degrees in math and computers, that's one degree, and in physics. Okay, next game. Oh, it's my brother's game. Let's see what my brother said. This is my one loss from the 1990 UP Championship. I was USCF 2242 at the time. Unfortunately, I did not record Jim's rating. Probably Jim was in the low 2000s. I have no excuse for my poor opening play, especially the silly mistake that just dropped a pawn for nothing. Weak opening preparation was my main problem in tournament play. This game was played in Negaunee, Michigan. I'm sure you've all been there. In August of 1990. My brother's white and black is Jim Kolbaki, somebody my brother and I have known for 50 years, and we both played him many times in Michigan. I was there same year and I was also white. What? Okay, so my brother's white, Kolbaki's black. Still theory. The engine wants you to play bishop b1. It likes the two bishops. It says white is slightly better. After this, it says it's equal. Now white's better again because white can play bishop b1. Yeah, it says that just loses a pawn because he takes and takes. So you were better until you didn't play bishop b1 twice. And it doesn't like that move because it gives black two bishops against two knights. It wants you to play either rook ae1 or knight g3. Still theory. It says black is only +1 here. Now it says black's 1.7 ahead. Yeah, black's playing pretty well. It says white resigns. I mean, I wouldn't resign against Kolbaki, but the engine says black is up 3.72. Yeah, white doesn't really have any counterplay. White's defending this pawn, pass pawn, h4 is a nice attack. So yeah, good game by Kolbaki. But yeah, basically, Castles just loses a pawn to this tactic. Otherwise, game was pretty reasonable. This game was played 35 years ago. You could have considered bishop e1, but you forgot. That's funny. Castles was the losing move. If you don't want to play bishop b1, the engine says always play f3. Then he doesn't have this tactic. Yeah, that's a high cap score. It's funny. I used to walk around and say 2,600, which now I'd get arrested if I said that. And the analogous situation, which happened later, which I started it, was in the television show Boston Legal. William Shatner's character, Denny Crane, would walk around saying Denny Crane. And if somebody else said Denny Crane, he liked that too. Okay, so like if I would go through a yellow light before it turned red, I would say 2,600 and such. Anyway, when I got my final GM norm, it was round 8 of the Spice Cup, and I was playing Danny Wrench. And he needed a win for an IM norm and the title, and I needed a draw for the GM norm and the title. Game ended in a draw, so I got the GM title, and in round 9, Danny had to draw to get the IM title, and he did. Okay. The point of this whole story was because Mark's castling was a mistake. On move 26 against Danny Wrench, I castled, and we agreed to a draw. So on the score sheet, it says 2600, 2,600, which was apt at the time. Now I could walk around saying 2,400. Not as impressive. Anyway, I like stories. The last round of that tournament, Danny Wrench had white against Ray Robson. If Robson got a win, he got the GM title, and if Danny Wrench got a draw, he got the IM title. So they both played crazy game and eventually ended in a draw. So I became a GM before Ray Robson. Doesn't make any sense. Have you seen what happened in France after PSG won the UCL? I guess people celebrated. They set on fire many cars, Many injured, broken to stores, 2 deaths. Yeah, that's normal. Same thing happens in the U.S. Well, you can't send a game now, Sarah Juan. You have to send it hours before the stream starts. But you can send it in 2 weeks. I wouldn't send a game against a cheater. What you should do is try to play a game with Yasser Seirawan and then send that. Seirawan. It's even better than the game Kramer versus Kramer. That's a movie you guys haven't heard of. No, that's standard Celebration. Yeah, when U.S. teams win sporting events, there's always that kind of celebration. Okay, you might not like Kramer versus Kramer, but did you like the sequel, Kramer versus Predator? Yeah, Dustin Hoffman and Michael Richards should do a sitcom called Kramer versus Kramer. Who's older, Michael Richards or Dustin Hoffman? I guess Dustin Hoffman's about 10 years older. That'd be my guess. I'll say Dustin Hoffman's 75 and Michael Richards 65. Hey Siri, how old is Dustin Hoffman? 87? God damn, I was way off. Hey Siri, how old is Michael Richards? 75? Man, I was more than 10 years off on both their ages. But I was still right that Dustin Hoffman's 10 years older. Man, Michael Richards is 75? God damn. Dustin Hoffman's 87? God damn. Also, as is well known, Dustin Hoffman was in Star Wars. That might be the only time in Seinfeld Dustin Hoffman was mentioned. It was a bet made by Todd Gack. What is that, Dutch? Okay, next game. The next game is from Hello My Dude, also known as D Donuts. He writes a very long preamble. Worst part of my day. I was really proud of finding the Night Sacrifice in this game. I didn't see the full mate. Shocking. But I did get to the part where I would have won the rook and wanted to share this one. I played white and will always maintain that 1700s, myself included, are still bad. Well, yeah. Uh, Black has the same elo as white, 1740s. This was a 10-minute game. You shouldn't allow your opponent to play the fried liver. Just tell them that you're vegan. It's the King's Gambit. Put it in H. H6 isn't as bad as it seems. Oh, H4 is terrible. Yeah, now knight F6 and black's better. Knight H5, etc. Oh, black has to play knight F6 after H4. Take advantage of those white squares. What, doesn't like C3? Yeah, it says bishop E2 or knight C3 and white's better. Now it says black's better or equal. Ugh. Ugh. Also not good. The engine doesn't like knight takes F4, giving white the monster center. Yeah, it doesn't like B5. Yeah, it says white's just winning. Knight B8? You gotta play knight A5 and try to attack. Too passive. If I was white, the last few moves I would have put a rook on G1. In this position, the engine says knight G5, threatening mate. And if HG, then all is not wells. Chat's too stupid to get that joke. Then after takes, we're threatening mate. Then we win, because we're threatening the bishop. Rook G1 is also winning. Put it in H, making knight G5 even stronger. Good move. Ugh. Says white's plus 5.5. Yep, knight takes F7 is the best move. Engine announces mate. Not too surprising. King F8 isn't the best defense. Bam. White played very well that game. Black made like 7 mistakes. Yeah, King's Gambit is a good opening at this rating level. When you wrote you're a grandmaster and you're not, that's not how you spell your. What are you, on the internet? The next game doesn't have the correct PGN. Should I skip it? What's wrong with the PGN? That's the PGN you pasted. The PDF is fine? Is it a PGN? It just doesn't have a link to chess.com. That doesn't matter at all. There are comments after the last move. Get rid of them. I always get rid of everything before I put the PGN in. I do a lot of prep work for this stream, and then it disappoints me every time. That's not how you spell there. Ugh. Man, you guys don't know your or their. Yeah, I have the moves, Bonarici. Ugh. Anyway, everybody's banned, including Bonarici. Okay, the next game, there's no information. Hi, Ben. This is the best game I ever played in my life. Ugh! This was 2023 Foxwoods under 2000 section, which I eventually won. At the time the game was played, we were both around 1800 to 1850. The only thing missing from the moves is move 1, there's no 1. But I already fixed that. All right, if you're a mod on my channel, the ban everybody. Plus ban asterisk. Ban all. Banned on the run. So I guess black is, he was black. Okay. Oh, already a mistake. Yeah, black is just much worse here. B3? Now black's not worse anymore. Always play bishop f8. A4? So far, it's just random legal moves. Put it in H. Bishop d2 is a mistake. In this position, white should play knight takes h4. I mean, never a more obvious move was suggested. That g takes h4 is a close second. Pawn here doesn't make any sense. White has to play knight a2 because bishop d2 allows hg3. Terrible. Ugh. Ugh. So far, this is the worst game of the stream. Okay, now black has 2 winning moves. Queen c5 and knight takes h2. I assume he played knight takes h2 because that was the greatest game he ever played. Ugh. Yeah, knight takes h2 is better. Knight c7 check just loses. You have to play knight e3 and defend. Now knight takes h2, also winning. Taking the queen just loses everything. White has to play king g1. Yeah, in this position, black has forced mate with bishop e4, threatening rook h1 mate. Then white would resign, I guess. This also wins. Black has like 10 extra pieces. Great game. White just played terrible that game. White didn't make any good moves. Black's play was acceptable. If that's the greatest game you've ever played, I feel sorry for you. I didn't know you needed the link to chess.com. You don't. Hey, Pat. It's trying to learn. Trying to learn just had another great tournament and at his highest USCF rating of all time. I was expecting more because it was your greatest game ever. Oh, but congrats on winning the section. Good job. Okay, the next game, it's Ponker Face. No. Okay, Oily Whale Yams says, "Hi, Ben. Oh, here's a game for analysis from one of my OTB tournament games. I am playing with the black pieces. The Championship Open of the Mauricie 2024. Says White's 1469 and our hero is 1521. Time control was 90 plus 30. Oh, this game is more than 70 moves. Oh, why did I come to work today? God. Trying to learn. Did you win a prize? Did that guy blunder against the 2200 and lose? Do you know trying to learn in real life? Isn't the internet real life? Yes. Only South Park knows. Trying to learn type number. Yes. Good job. Trying to learn just got top under 1800 in the Virginia Senior Championship. He tied for the prize, but that's good enough. Yeah, trying to learn has physically appeared on the stream more than once. Once at some tournament somewhere, Chicago or Vegas, and once here at my house. Four-way tie. Good. Okay, here's Oily Whale Yams with black. We won't talk too much about the game because it's too long. Yeah, people are playing this now. All right, so white's slightly better. Good. G5? God damn. The engine wants to play F5, which makes more sense. G5. The engine says, frankly, terrible. Oh, G5. Yeah, H4 is a good move. Okay, who in the chat can guess after 10 seconds of thinking what the engine says the best move for black is? God damn. It's a move nobody would ever consider ever except Humpy Canaru, because she played it today. Yeah, the correct answer is King G2. King G2. Rawr. Anyway, the correct answer is Rook A7. F6 is also one of the engine moves, but that makes sense because it defends the pawn, attacks this pawn. Anyway, if you like Rook A7, you're banned. Always sack the exchange, no matter how losing it is. Finally, Rook A7. King F1? I mean, white's winning, but still. King E1? White's preparing the castle. King D1? Ugh. White's technique is frankly ridiculous. No, always play King B1. Now it says white's just winning because A5 and Knight B4 don't make any sense. Yeah, I mean, this is resignable. Ugh. In this position, the engine recommends Queen D3 threatening the Rook and the Knight. Also winning. How did black win this game? King F6. That's a blunder. Blunder's a piece. Very interesting tactic. So every legal move wins for white. And if it was black's move, then white's winning. This move is a blunder. And now black is in the game. Black's equal. What did black brilliantly play here? Yeah, bishop d3. That's what black played. I don't know what's worse, bishop d3 or knight d3. Ugh. King d3. Most of the chat got it right. King takes E1. Knight D3 is the worst chess move I've ever seen. King takes B2. Okay, the correct answer, which has been posted many times, is move that wins a piece. Now, this position should be a draw, but, I mean, it's never going to be a draw. Somebody's going to win. Yeah, rook E3 is already a big mistake. Yeah, and A4 just loses instantly. Black was threatening knight D5 with unstoppable knight C3 or knight E3. So A4 is triple question mark. White should play rook E8. And then it says it's equal. Now white can resign. Engine announces mate. Okay, now I'm confused because this game took 30 more moves. I mean, black's threatening here, and black can play here and mate if you don't let me do that. How did the game last 30 more moves? Talk about white not resigning. Oh! Rook takes A7, making the game go 20 moves longer. Oh! Hope at least black made a bishop. No, not a queen. White played king here. That's good. That loses really quickly. No, play king here, and then queen here mate. What's queen b4 about? All right, that game was pretty bad. But I liked it. How should I know if you're even a mod? That's not how you spell your. Ugh. How do we submit horrible games to be analyzed? Impossible. Or do what Nightbot says. My only regret in life is I have Discord. Ugh. If takes, then takes. That's correct. SYL2 Bud gifted a sub. Thank you. Thirsty. Ugh. God, I gotta get on an airplane in 2 days. Ugh. Horrible. Everybody on the plane's like under 1,000 rated. Ugh. Where's the Perrier? Ugh. Showing you haven't been on my stream in 2 years. You're banned. Can you review my game next? I review them in the order received. Ugh. Okay, next is Bonarici. I was going to post a game I won, but I couldn't read my scribblings. White in Black's column, algebraic, descriptive, cats and dogs living together. This one I could read. For this game, the computer only says, you got outplayed, son. Harsh. This is the World Open in the mid-1990s. Bonarici's white. F. Yalto is black. Oh, this game's 66 moves. Oh, God. Horrible. Still theory. F4. Oh, that's what I get for looking at low-rated players' games. Knight D7. Bishop E2. Bishop E2 is okay. Yeah, the engine just says white's doing great. Oh, G6, terrible. Yeah, G4 is a mistake. Should have played Knight G5. Bishop E7 is a mistake. Should have played Bishop takes F3. And then put it in H. Knight D2 is a mistake. Should play Knight G5. Bishop G2 is weird. Always play Bishop F1. Although Knight E3 might make more sense. Oh, B4. Ruining white's pawn structure on both sides of the board. The most anti-positional move of all time. Funky Monk gifted a sub to John Curtis Chess. It's a hype train. Zumeri subscribed. Go, people doing stuff. Just says black strategically winning because all of white's pawns are terrible. Knight F3 checked, terrible. Yeah, in this position, it wants you to move your knight away and defend F4. Now it says you're lost again. Yeah, now black's ready to castle. Always sack the exchange. That's a lot of pawns. And truth hurts. Playing for stalemate. And then the game ends. It says Knight D1's forced mate and King D2's forced mate. You mean in this position, when he played here, you resigned because you didn't see King B2? Resigning still a good choice. Oh, way earlier. Yeah, you didn't play very well that game. You made a lot of excessive pawn moves. Come on, hype train. People do stuff. 5 subs, 10 subs, 1,000 subs, 1,000,000 subs. Go trying to learn, but stay here. When you don't know what to do, don't push pawns. Improve your pieces. Come on, hype train. We need 200 bits or 1 sub to get to level 2. Dying on level 1 is embarrassing. I've never been so angry or cared so little. You pushed all your pawns, then your opponent captured them. Then you had no pawns. This game was a good example of pandemonium. Yay, 100 bits did it. Thanks, Ghost Spassky. Yay, Ghost Spassky gave another 100 bits just to show me. If he does it 1,000 more times, we're all good. Your spelling of prophylaxis makes me feel bad. That no word has ever been spelled more incorrectly than that. I didn't even know what you meant at first. God damn, like 12 spelling mistakes in that word. Go ILS 7 for, whatever you did. Come on, hype train. We need 1 billion subs. How do you get better at chess? You play better. Make less mistakes and more good moves. That'll be $150. Okay, the next game is Patrick and NN. Here's a game I played with Black in the Rossalimo Sicilian. A good portrayal of a Feingold student, in my opinion. Okay, this game was played about exactly a month ago. Our hero is Black. It's Pat. Still theory. D3 is not a good way to try for an advantage. Now, Black's position is perfectly cromulent. Bishop G5 is not good either. Oh, she takes E7 is terrible. Yeah, you don't want to play Bishop E6. You don't want to trade your bishop off. That's good for attacking. And you have the two bishops. Oh, he takes F5 is frankly terrible. Oh, D4 is worse than he takes F5. He should have taken with a knight. Now you're just winning. White's position is frankly ridiculous. This is trapped and hanging. This is trapped. Oh. It's the most winning position in chess history. Yeah, White played very poorly that game. You played quite well. Your opponent made several mistakes in a row. He takes F5 is bad, D4 is bad, pawn takes is bad, knight B3 is bad, knight D2 is bad. And then rook E2 is ridiculous. What the hell is rook E2? Oh. Yeah, then your technique was good. Etc. Best position, White's had the whole game. Don't play too fast. Not thinking about the opponent? What does that even mean? Yeah, you should think about their plans and don't play too fast. That was easy. Tortolino. Hi, Ben. I hope this game impresses the crowd because you're too hard to impress anyways. I'm very impressed because the game's only 27 moves long. Perfect. Okay, this game is a 10-minute game. Tortolino is 2,000. His opponent is 1,765. So far, A6. I couldn't get my sentence out. I was going to say, so far, no mistakes. Black played A6. Oh. Also, B takes is bad. Strategically, White's already winning. Oh. Oh. I got to take a week off of this stream. Oh. Should take C3 check. God damn. Oh. Yeah, I just play rook B1 here so you can play bishop B2. Well, this is winning too. Bishop b7? Good square for the bishop. Oh, never been so mad. Knight takes f7. The crazy move wins. It's not the best way to win, but it wins. So good enough. d6. Rook takes f6 check. God damn. Wow, bishop g7 is the only winning move. And he played it. Bam. Nice move. Engine announces mate. Bam. First played in the game, gotcha versus bitch. At Tortolino, you played well that game. Your opponent made a lot of 1,700 mistakes. And Bonarici's not easily impressed. Yeah, I'm impressed with bishop g7 and all the sacrifices. Some of them were unnecessary, but they had a certain flair. Black's defense was frankly ridiculous. But it's a 10-minute game, and he's 1,700, so can't expect too much. Okay, our hero's black. Oh, God, it's so long, and I have to read it. First time doing this, so if I mess anything up, let me know. After playing c5, allowing the structure to close, couldn't figure out when to use my breaks on the E and B files of this game. I over-prepared both. Really, I couldn't tell why what I did was bad. Also, later in the game, rook f8, I just missed a5 completely. And after a5, I played b takes a5 after like 3 seconds of thought, and immediately realized I was losing after b6. So very sloppy there, but it happens. Oh. Both players are about 1,050. It says time control, one move every 86,400 seconds. Is that a move a day? I don't know. So far, it's a good game. Perfect. Bishop d3's unusual, but Dina Belankaya plays it. Very reasonable for the ratings. Yeah, these games are great. Wow, the engine says knight a8 is the best move. God damn. Yeah, that's a more human move. I mean, black should be playing e6 every move and opening this bitch up. Oh, still should have played e6. Oh, still should have played e6. Finally, the engine doesn't like e6 there. Perfect. Bishop takes e5? Ugh. Bishop takes e5 is the worst move of the game, until now. And then that reminds me of the last game where the guy played bishop takes c3, except this is worse. Terrible move. Now black's winning. White has all these weak pawns, Bonarici style. Now, bishop h2 check wins a queen for rook and a piece. And black wins easily. And that's what black did. And black's just killing it. Yeah, that move's a mistake. You should play rook a7. And in this position, you should play rook f8. Now after rook f8, the engine says it's equal. a5 exclam. Got to get those pawns going. And that's a blunder. Queen e5 is like slightly better for white. But this just loses. That's too bad the queenside pawn was so strong. Truth hurts. I mean, black played a great game until he played rook f8, which allows white to draw. Then you took on a5, which loses. But those are understandable mistakes. You outplayed your opponent before that. So that was a good game until it wasn't. Yeah, that's a tough way to lose. You have a queen for rook and a piece. And white's queenside pawns are too strong. $10. Thanks, Lelouch X12. Please review my garbage game. I got to go to sleep soon. Well, there's 2 games left. I'm not sure if either one's you. Those are the ones I'm going to review. Okay, this is from Valis2501. Hi, Ben. Here's the game I played at the 2025 Golden State Open in Berkeley at the beginning of the year. You went all the way from West Berkeley to Berkeley? Time control, 40 and 80, sudden death 30, delay 30. I think I made a mistake at or around playing g6, where my king suddenly felt very weak. But I found a way to threaten a perpetual. I was playing up 300 points, so I don't think my opponent wanted to draw. But the alternative was worse. Okay, so black is 1,600. They're the subscriber. And white is 1,900. They're the villain. Okay, so far, perfect game. H6. That move has actually been played by Nigel Short. Still not good, but... C3. Oh. And now black's already better. Rook c1's terrible. It says white should castle. No, you can take the pawn. It's free, I tells you. The engine says black's better by taking either way on d4. Now it says white's slightly better. Wow, the best move is a4. Using the audience. Yeah, here white should play knight c5. Wow, the engine wants to play knight g8 here. So the bishop controls the diagonal. I like h5. Ugh. Now it says it's equal. That's actually a mistake. Now you can sack a piece for perpetual, which you did. Now the engine says perpetual. Ah, white played king f3 instead of perpetual because you were lower rated. Now it says black's winning with queen g4 check, queen e4 check, queen takes knight. Yay, now black's winning. Black's up a lot of material. King's on d2. Rook a1? God damn. Yeah, that's better. God damn. God damn. I said god damn. Now, if you forgot or showed up late, I'd like to point out that white castled kingside this game. Magnus won the French Open. That's a slam. Good for Magnus. This looks like the game God versus Damn. The best move is queen d8. Yeah, you played very well. Your opponent, obviously should have acquiesced to the draw. I know where he's coming from, but sometimes you go too far playing for a win. Get completely lost position where you have no hope. Your technique was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, that happened many hours ago. So it's been talked about ad nauseum. Now we're talking about other stuff. Okay, last game, our hero is black. Both players are 2080. Hi, Ben. It's George. Oh, this is the worst game I've ever submitted to your analysis. That's saying something. The time control was 60-second, no increment. Now, I assumed that was a typo and he meant 60 minutes. But, because nobody would call 1 minute chess 60-second chess. But then later it says time control 60. So, I guess it's 60-second chess. Yeah, if you submit a 1 minute game, then nobody's going to play well. It's still so terrible you won't believe who my opponent was. I'll be in chat to tell you after you do your analysis. No, I'll be doing another one in June. But probably just one. I should be doing an analysis in 2 weeks. You're banned for submitting a game. Okay, so this is a 1 minute game, so analyzing it seems pointless. But there should be some funny blunders. So far, there aren't any funny blunders. Yeah, the engine says black's almost lost, or lost. But that'll change every move. Black's queen side not looking too good. Yeah, now knight h4 just wins material, but okay, it's a 1 minute game. Oh, b6. God damn. Opening this up for discovered attacks on the rooks. Yeah, the engine says white's +5, which in 1 minute means nothing. That's a blunder, because after knight e5, the queen's getting trapped. Oh! Now the queen's not getting trapped. Now white's +5 again. Man, white lost this game? It's hard to lose this game. It's so winning. And the engine announces mate. It says this is mate in 10, and this is mate in 10. Rook e8? That looks like a mouse slip, like he wanted to play rook e7. Because rook e8, what kind of move is that? Yeah, bishop e4 check is winning on the spot. Because if you take, I take, and play queen bishop d4 check. Now white's better again. Now it's equal. Now white's winning. Bishop h6. White keeps giving all his pieces away. Ugh. Ugh. Terrible. Yeah, that was pretty bad. My opponent was Leonid Yudasin. Why is Leonid Yudasin 2089? Wonder how old Yudasin is. He's got to be about 80. Let's see. Leonid Yudasin. Oh, he's only 65. He plays that bad? God damn. I mean, white. I assume rook e7 was a mouse slip. I mean, rook e8. Yeah, that was pretty pathetic. Even for a 1 minute game. Maybe he has a grandson who's playing on his account. Oh, snap. That's not how you spell your. Yeah, he probably has a grandson who doesn't know the rules yet playing on his account. Oh, snap. Yeah, when he was a higher rated player, he had a different last name. He changed it for religious reasons. It wasn't Yudasin, it was Udaman. Then his rating went down a lot and he had to change it. Yeah, I don't have to stream for 9 days. Oh. Make sure you give subs when I'm not streaming. Don't get lazy. Yeah, Yudasin, before you guys were born, played a candidates match against Kramnik. God damn. Kramnik won. There is no next one because you had to submit the game way before the stream, not during the stream. If you asked me to look at your game and it wasn't submitted in time, then you're banned, as discussed on previous streams. We yeah, no complaining on the stream. Okay, so Karen's got Nemsko, and let's see who I got. Nemsko. I could rate John Curtis chess because somebody gave him a sub on my stream. So let's do that. I think I rated him last time too. All right, see you guys in 9 days. 9! If you missed the stream, you can watch Karen's stream over the next 8 days. Thanks for supporting the stream. I'll see you guys when I see you, and I'll see some of you in Vegas.